It's our final road day. We are going 600 miles from Bunnell, Florida, all the way up to Clinton, South Carolina. And of course, that's not, as the crow flies, it's going to take us more than all day. It'll be dark by the time we get there. We're also going to leave out of here and go straight to Daytona Beach, drive on the beach. Can't beat that. We just hope we don't have a lot of breakdowns, because that's going to put us even farther back. Find out what happens.
Our first stop was at the Iron Horse Saloon. This is a place that Iron Horse Billy had something to do with, so we stopped there and lined ourselves up just like Harleys do. Figure we're just as much an Iron Horse as a Harley, we're just a little bit bigger. After looking around the Iron Horse Saloon and taking some photos, we headed on down to Daytona Beach. Of course, we didn't get all the way to Daytona Beach because that's too far. We stopped at Ormond Beach. It's a better beach, it's closer, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper and less traffic. We got all 25 vehicles out on the sand. What a time. After we parked the rigs, we hit the surf, and it was so much nicer than all the muck and the bugs and the grease and the grit. We finally got a good bath.
One guy said, "Are you going in?" Tim Hardy said, "Well, I didn't come here didn't drive 2,700 miles, not the wheel." Same way with this stuff, so guess I'm getting in. Oh boy. Ah! Woohoo!
Once we were done with the beach, we had to head north. We had 600 miles to go to our final destination in South Carolina, and that meant freeway. Freeway isn't the best way to go, but it sometimes is the most direct, and it's the quickest. So we got on right there, 65 miles an hour, and held that speed for about 2 hours. Once up to Jacksonville, we took off a nice little place to find a secret surprise.
So we're at the St. Johns Ferry. We're at Mayport Naval Station. We're going north on A1A. And that's going to take us all the way up to Amelia Island, and then we'll hit the Buccaneer Trail and keep heading north until we finally get to South Carolina. It's going to be a long day, but well worth it. How many times do you get to take Ultimate Adventure on the ferry?
We always try to get a ferry on Ultimate Adventure because it's Ultimate Adventure. How many times have you been on a ferry? We'll find some old guy pushing this vehicles across the river one at a time. Now, that takes all day. This one was a little quicker. We had 2 loads. We all made it across to Amelia Island. So that was our ferry trip. After the ferry, we hit the Buccaneer Trail. That's the coast highway that takes us right up through Georgia and to our destination in South Carolina. So it's a lot of miles, but we're still sticking to the back roads so we can see the interesting sides. It's just like Route 66 in the west. You've got an old highway that has a lot of abandoned houses, trees growing out of the houses, gas stations that used to be there, hotels that used to be there, now all derelict, but really cool looking. Road days can be just as damaging to vehicles as a trail day. In fact, sometimes more, because after you're in the mud, everything's grinding around in your bearings and your seals, and you have to go 65 miles an hour for 600 miles. You're bound to have something go wrong. In fact, U-joints are one of those, and that's what happened to Ken's CJ2A. About halfway up, it started vibrating, making noise, so Chris Durham and Ken pulled the drive shaft out, replaced it, and back on the road. It was pretty quick, barely had enough time for us to all get ice cream.
And here's what I want to do here. I want to get a manager's special donut, then I want a scoop of cookies and cream on top with a little whipped cream and chocolate and a little bit of caramel and a cone on top of it. I'll be the Dunkin' Robin. Right?
That's pretty good.
Ultimate Adventure wouldn't be the same without some cool bridges. We love bridges, especially tall ones like the Sydney Lapeer Bridge. It goes over the water and it's just fantastic to look down and also to get a few photos of. Final road day took its toll on men and machine. We're talking 600 miles and about 17 hours. We rolled in about 1 in the morning. Even at that, everybody was ecstatic to be at a real hotel with real showers and real beds. It gave us strength for our final trail day at Gulches Off Road Park. Final day of Ultimate Adventure was held at the Gulches Off Road Park. The owner Skip came out and met us along with all of his rangers, and they're a pretty cool bunch of guys because they actually fix the trails, they guide the trails and tell us exactly the best places to go. They help spot and they know their stuff. This is where they live and love to wheel. In fact, Gulches is the only private off-road park in South Carolina. There's no other place to go unless you have your own private land or maybe a little legal forest wheel.
We're on our final day of Ultimate Adventure. We're at Gulches Off-Road Park in Lawrence County, South Carolina. This is the only off-road park in South Carolina. We're here on a beautiful, sunny, hot, humid, muggy summer day, just after the 4th of July. We got 20-some rigs behind me, and we're trying to go through the gulches. These have names like Buccaneer and Sidewinder and Pirates Ridge and all that good kind of stuff. The bad part is that it flooded for the last 5 days, wiped out some of the areas. It's all still underwater. Doesn't matter. There's still great trails here and we're gonna hit them. And because it's the last day, a lot of these guys are gonna go for broke. But if it's the last day and they don't have to drive cross country, they may be doing that hammer down thing quite a bit, breaking stuff. We'll see. I still have to drive at least 500 miles to get my rig home, but I'm not gonna baby it. We're gonna have fun today.
It was nothing but a non-stop winch fest once we got to Shipreck. Vehicles were sliding and slipping in the mud and the rain and the rocks. It was great, but thanks again to Warren, we got everybody up the hill. Remember Mel? Back in River Rock, he busted his drive shaft and put on his spare. Here on Shipreck, he took out his spare drive shaft and he didn't have any way to fix it. We winched him to the top and got him back home. On this one obstacle, even Lance had problems. He was the one-shot master, wouldn't even get his tires dirty, everything was great. On this one, he had to work it. He made it, but he had to work it. One of the reasons they call it gulches is because of the incredible deep ravines they have. These gulches will tip you over, run your hardtop into trees, and they're not all the same size either. Some are big, some you could barely get a full-size vehicle through. We got them all through, but there was a few more dents by the time we were done. And then the downhills? Downhills are crazy. Some of the shorter vehicles like the Samurai or the Little Willie's Jeep, they were nearly on their nose going down. And it's slick too, so there's no use putting on your brakes. You're probably better off leaving off the brakes, steering a little, hoping you don't go head over heels. Final gulch at the Gulches took us right to the parking lot, but not until a mile of trail. We're talking everybody following each other, twisty turning, using their articulation to the fullest. Luckily, no one had to winch, but it was an epic ending to an epic trail.
So that's it. We're talking 1,500 miles, 4 parks. We had mud, we had sand, we had rocks, we had dirt. We had a great time. It took us 8 days and an innumerable amount of road hours. We broke an engine, another engine, transmission, a couple of drive lines, no tire issues fortunately, but overall, wonderful 2013 Ultimate Adventure. That's it. Just wait till we get to next year.
This Ultimate Adventure was like a mission. We had to get 50 people and 25 rigs across 1,500 miles of the deep south. This was a flawless trip. Everybody pitched in, they did their jobs, they helped everybody else out, and they got through to the end. And that's what makes it an adventure, an ultimate adventure.